Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Today's lesson is on the number system. So we've been working on the number system for a few days now, and we are going to finalize our understanding of the number system today. So I want you all to get out your KWL chart that I've passed out. So you're going to, in the first column, fill out what you already know about the numbers, what you already know about the number system. So take a few moments to think about, what do I know about numbers? What do I know about the number system? Think about the number line, think about the categories that you've learned about, any of the vocabulary that you already know and what those mean. So just take a moment to do that. Okay, so now that you have had some time to think about what you already know about the number system, I'm going to have you pair up with your group mates. So now you're going to pair up and share with each other what you wrote in column 1. So what you wrote into the first column, you're just going to talk about that for a little while, and then we will have you share with the whole group. Okay? Great, so I'm hearing some wonderful things as I'm walking around, as I'm listening to you guys talk about what you wrote down on your first column. So the main thing that I'm hearing is that I heard someone mention over here real numbers. Right? Right, you said, oh, the numbers are made of real numbers, okay? That's correct, right? We've been filling in our chart here, right? So the most recent thing that we've been working on is rational numbers, right? Exactly, rational numbers. Okay, so we have real numbers, and underneath the real numbers there are rational numbers and not rational numbers, right? Irrational numbers. Irrational numbers, and this is what we're going to learn about today. Okay, so today we're going to learn about irrational numbers. Irrational numbers, remember IR is just a prefix that means not. Okay, so there's rational numbers and there's not rational numbers, right? Nice and convenient. Perfect. Okay. So what do you know about rational numbers? Justin, what do you know about rational numbers? Right. Okay, so let's write down that definition that Justin's telling us, okay? So Justin's saying, okay, repeat it for me. Okay. Right, a rational number is a number that can be written as the ratio of two integers. Okay. All right, let's make sure that we understand this, okay? So a rational number is a number that can be written as the ratio, right? What is a ratio? Right, okay, so a ratio is anything that looks like this, A over B, okay? Of two integers. What are integers? Perfect. Okay, integers are whole numbers, positive and negative whole numbers, right? So you said positive and negative whole numbers. Perfect. Okay, so as we're discussing this, if you have any questions, if there's something that you want to know more about, please feel free to ask, or write it into your center column of your KWL chart. So what you want to know more about, if you have more questions, you can write it there. And if we don't address it by the end of our discussion, then please feel free to ask it. This helps you to keep track of making sure that your questions are being answered. Okay, so we talked about rational numbers and irrational numbers, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass out to everybody a set of numbers. So I'm going to pass out to each group a set of numbers. And with this set of numbers, you're going to use this set of numbers and your graphic organizer. So the graphic organizer that we've been working with, right here. So you're going to use your set of numbers and your graphic organizer to categorize your numbers, okay? So you're going to go ahead and categorize them the way that we've been working on them. So you would put into the most specific category that you can. So for example, you're given 1/4. Well, 1/4 would be a rational number, right? It's not an integer, it's not a whole number, it's not a natural number. It would fall into the category of a rational number. What if you're given the number 1? Well, the number 1 is a rational number. It's also an integer. It's also a whole number. It's also a natural number. So we want to put it into the most specific category. We want to put it into natural numbers, okay? So take some time, work in your groups to categorize those numbers, okay? Okay, so as you guys have been working, I've been hearing some questions come up, and we're just gonna clarify those together as a group, okay? So over here in this group, they have the number 0.121212, and it repeats, okay? So what about this? Is this number rational or irrational? Right, we did. We learned that repeating decimals are rational numbers, okay? So make sure you make that note, that repeating decimals are rational numbers, okay? Okay, what's another number that this group had that you weren't able to categorize under the rational number umbrella? Okay, perfect. That's something that we're all familiar with, right? We're all used to working with pi. Okay, so what is pi? What is the number pi? What number is that? Yeah, we're used to saying 3.14, and it keeps going 3.1415, and it keeps going. The numbers do not repeat, right? So it keeps going on and on and on, and the numbers do not repeat. Okay. So, if repeating decimals are rational numbers, and this is a not repeating number, then we can say, oh, this is an irrational number, right? If it's not rational, it's irrational. That's what we learned, right? So, we're saying non-repeating decimals, right? Non-repeating decimals are irrational numbers. Okay? So we're starting to get a definition of what rational numbers and irrational numbers are. Okay. So I want you guys to go onto your Google Classroom, and I've given you a link. There's a link there to a quick little video that you can watch about rational numbers and irrational numbers from my